All right, so this week I want to talk about something that I've been tweeting about really for all of last week, which is that, hey, everyone that missed Tesla today is looking at this price chart of Tesla, which, the last 3 years at its recent peak is at 1,700%. So, I mean, this is a huge, massive winner. And in hindsight, everybody's like, oh, that was so obvious. It was so clear and everyone could have gotten it. The truth is, however, there's really a fairly small number of people that actually got the benefit of this incredible run in Tesla. So I've been on Twitter, and I know that with the IPO recently of Rivian, there's a lot of people who are looking at Rivian and Lucid, and Polestar is coming public through a SPAC transaction. And I just want to give some commentary on these companies and what I think of them. And remember, anything on this channel is opinion, information, not advice. You're on your own in terms of what you choose to do in terms of your own trading accounts. But just remember, folks, that Rivian, Lucid, Polestar, they're all fighting to be number two at best. And they've got, just years of scaling up to do in terms of commercial production. They're all right now in the boutique level of car production. So in other words, they're delivering like a handful of cars here and there. And the big scale of delivering hundreds of thousands of cars, making, then delivering, is well ahead of them. And then, they've got to, develop or co-develop a charging network. They've got to develop a delivery network. They got so much work ahead of them, and billions of dollars worth of either stock or debt or loans that they are going to have to somehow come up with to actually make all of this into a reality. So as I put up in my tweet, I said, short term, their stocks are going to pump with excitement as people, ponder and discuss, oh, Rivian's car looks cool and Polestar's, is great. But long term, I think they're going to struggle to sustain the gains that they get from these pumps. So, and when you break it down as to, what Tesla's huge advantages are, I mean, they've got a minimum, I would say, 5-7 year lead in battery technology, car production in terms of scaling up. Then there's autonomy where, these companies are going to have to license or, God forbid, they try to develop this. I mean, because they're probably like 10 years plus away. So, and then if you think about, by the time Rivian and Polestar and Lucid get to all of these things, just let's say delivering 100,000 cars, let's say even in a year, Tesla is going to be at the point of having introduced robo-taxis. And so they will have created another level, another business level that these companies are not even in the game, let alone competing. So if I was looking for the next Tesla, I would tell you what I put in this tweet, which is that, it's not going to be something that is in the EV industry. It is going to be something that is separate. And the usual qualities of something that tends to be a huge winner over time is that it tends to be hated in real time prior to the big gains. It's going to be something that you could probably write like a big fat book like one of these on as to why it's not going to work and why it's going to fail. And definitely all the Wall Street experts will be telling you that you should absolutely stay away from that. And, you go back and look at some of the best investments, speculations, trades, whatever you want to call it, Tesla, Bitcoin. I mean, these will all fit this category. They were largely things that people were told to stay away from. So I would tell you that these EV companies, definitely short term, you can look at them as trades. For us, we're going to stick with Tesla. And I would tell you that the greater likelihood is that Tesla, which is now $1 trillion company, I mean, it wavers right around that mark. It's more likely to become a $10 trillion company than these, turning out to be some massive, huge investments that are going to work out. And I put up a recent poll asking folks and kind of telling folks like where I thought some of these new winners might come from. One of the places that really is still unhyped is the area of eVTOLs. In other words, vertical takeoff and lift aircraft. There's a number of them out there that are competing. There are other people that are making big plans for creating networks where right now, I believe the max range of these is something in the range of about 100 miles or so. So you'd have to have a regional network. And they are seen as sort of like where Tesla was 5 years ago or 7 years ago. Oh, Paul, these are going to happen. These are too sci-fi. They're going to happen 15, 20 years from now. I can't be bothered with all of that. I mean, this is just like not a reality. And as I said, like, I mean, all of the kinds of big winners come from something that people think are too far out there, that you can come up with every objection. And yet those are the ones that tend to work out. Another area that I put in my tweet is space manufacturing and lunar colonies, space colonies, which once again, a whole bevy of objections. Oh, Paul, this is sci-fi. This is 25, 30 years out there. Or I can tell you, if you're tracking space, and our readers are, because we're in space in a big way across our services, we can tell you this is not 20 years out. I mean, I would say this is a solid category for where, you can potentially see this kind of a winner where you have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000% gains because the price levels are low, the market capitalization levels are low, which means, you could see like a very big run as people work out like, oh, this is going to happen way sooner than what other people believe, and they come to rush in and bid it up, and then other people chase them, and now you have this big move up. The other place that actually we've never talked about a great deal is sort of longevity biotechnology. In other words, looking to increase the lifespan of human beings. And there are a number of companies that are pursuing it in the biotechnology sphere. And this has gone through periods of hype here and there over time. However, most people today are not really very focused on it. However, there's a lot of money that's going into it. And right now it seems like this weird part of healthcare. However, the reality is that all healthcare is designated really to increase our lifespans, increase the quality of our life while we live. And so over time, these would just be part of the overall biotechnology sector. However, right now it's seen as being sort of this separate area. Nonetheless, these drugs, these ways of looking to expand human life, they are real, they're out there, and they're making progress. I mean, they have drugs in the clinic, they have things in the clinic that look to benefit from that. So this is a third area. And the last area, which I would tell you, which is also dismissed, is the area of memes, NFTs, and the metaverse. In our services, we're in the metaverse. We don't really have meme stocks and we don't have NFTs yet. However, I believe all of these three things are connected. And in another video, I'll try and sort of put together as to how I believe that, why I believe that. However, I want to just put this out there in terms of categories that I think that this is where you are likely to see the next big winner like Tesla. So that's the video for this week. If you like this video, well, come back next week and I'll have another one. Until then, this is Paul saying bye.